Rostermania.
Good,
Round
sounds good.
2, baby. You excited? Because I'm excited.
You better be. I'm getting you all these views, bro.
Yeah. It's all you. You're carrying. Ego yourself.
You have to sometimes.
So, dude, since our last video, got a few more rosters.
A few more.
A few more. Obviously, the one that I think will bring the most, most fandom is definitely the FaZe Clan, just because it's FaZe Clan.
Yep.
You got Splyce announced last week. Team Reciprocity announced last week. And then today, Team MadCat, whatever org they get, we don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Orgless.
Orgless.
Do it for the for this little people.
Yeah. They're gonna carry themselves. All right. Well, I like you and I discussed it. I think we just start with FaZe, dude, because that's what people care about.
Yeah, I
Not that
mean,
the people don't care about the others, but
I would say FaZe is
FaZe has got the
definitely the largest fan base
yeah, it's got
announced
the
in the
largest
last
fan
couple
base.
weeks. So
So remaining on the team, they have the same roster plus one. Still got Zuma attached, replays, Priesta,
added
and
Zinni.
then they pick up Zinni methods.
Yeah, back.
Um,
He's back.
he's back with FaZe Clan, teaming with replays again. I saw in Attach's video that he actually teamed with Attach for a tiny bit. I don't know if you've seen that clip. It's actually hilarious.
I haven't. Nope.
Hit him and I don't remember who the other two were, but Attach basically starts trying to shoot through this wall to kill a guy off bomb, but it was through a fence that couldn't be shot through. They were just roasting Attach.
And actually, I do see FaZe's roster coming into this new game as one of the top rosters, like in that top 5, I would say.
Dude, I agree. You elaborate first. I'll let you go because I have
Well, I don't
little bit
think
of thought.
I think that methods kind of it seems like in esports the way players are so easily traded and move around the league compared to like traditional sports. I think there ends up being a lot of those like little beefs and turmoils when players come and go, and methods definitely dealt with some of that with Optic, but
Oh, for sure.
in no means was he playing poorly on Optic. I don't think. I think he's still a great player, and I think when he gets to FaZe, I just see that roster being one of the powerhouses, like starting off in Black Ops 4. I don't see how it's really even argued that they
Yeah,
won't be one of the best.
I mean that roster up in well, when the four of them formed last year, it was like, what the hell are they doing? Picking up Priest, who was kind of new, replays out of retirement, and then that first event, they get top 4 out of pool, or not even pools. What was it? Open
Out of
bracket,
open.
right? Yeah, which was crazy as itself, and then they're up and down placings until season 1, and they killed the dynasty, killed Optic Gaming
Yeah.
with that win, and then kind of up and down the rest of the way, and then got top 3 at Worlds. Decided to stay together. Um, I really like this pickup. You got Zuma and Attach, who great at sub.
Mm-hmm.
They're great subs. Priesta, I feel like he played a lot of the flex role for most of the season, and then from my understanding in Worlds, him and replays they shared the AR role, but certain maps Priesta actually used it. But from the
Right.
most plays, replays was their main AR. And I actually watched a little bit of Attach announcing it
Mm-hmm.
or discussing it yesterday, and he says the 4 of them came up as subs. I didn't know that about replays. I thought he was just an AR player, but um, and they obviously methods being a main AR, and he can also use a sub. I mean, he used it with Optic, but to me, he was the best. I wouldn't say best, but definitely top 3 AR in the game this past season.
Yeah, and I think people that are following the bigger teams that are making moves. Obviously, there's still a lot of good players that haven't found a spot yet or haven't finalized a roster, but like I feel like people make it seem to be like Methods kind of got left for scraps, but that's really not the case because I mean, there's other players that he's still competing with for a spot on rosters, and Gunless being like the player I can't believe no one's picked up yet. It was easily contendable with Methods, you know what I mean, for the FaZe roster.
Yeah, like they could have kept Replays as like the solid May AR and picked up Gunless and
Yeah.
made him a flex, but
It's
they stuck with Zinni.
I'm glad they did.
I like it a lot. I think their Search and Destroy is going to be incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Replays being as clutch as he is, Attach is good, Zuma's fast, and Priestess consistent, and then
Yeah.
Zinni all year. I mean, even with Optic, even when they were doing bad, his stats were
And I hope Optics
top of the line.
Search shows a lot of maturing this year with the moves they made. Not to get into Optic because we talked about a lot about them last video, but I really hope to see that roster take advantage of what they're trying to do with bringing in some S&D, some dominant S&D players into that roster to kind of balance them out.
Yeah, I honestly think this works for both rosters.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I don't think Octane and Methods by any means drew the short stick. They both ended up in great organizations.
yeah,
So
and I think this works for Methods playstyle more. I think this set of players is way better than when he was on the Optic roster.
yeah.
I think it's a very good vibes team too. I think these are all guys that are gonna get along even during the bad times.
Yeah.
If there are bad times. But I don't know. I think you said they're a top 5. I wouldn't. I think they might even be a top 3 team going into this.
Yeah. The only reason I wouldn't put them higher yet is because I think that LG is going to find their 5th, and I think they're going to be in the top 3. I'd like to consider Optic in top 3, and I mean,
100 T's.
Yeah.
Like even though those guys, I mean, 3 of them have played together, so I can't even say that they haven't all played together because 3 of them literally just did, and the other 2 are AR gods. So I don't know. It's really hard because we haven't seen the game. We don't know the game modes, the maps yet, but just based on what we know, it's going to be a very competitive season.
Definitely. I think we're going to see another season where now the thing I like is that the game is going to have a higher skill gap than the last maybe ever in Call of Duty just because of some of the new mechanics as far as self-healing, things like that. So I can definitely see this game being another one of the games where we have just like 4 to 5 teams that are just dominating. Like they're kind of the elite teams of the season.
Right.
Whereas last year we had teams like we talked about in the last video, we had AM teams coming into champs and running amok. You know, I think this is going to be a lot harder of a game for that to happen, especially with the teams we're seeing come together for these 5-man rosters. I feel like there's going to be a few of those teams that are just going to be unstoppable.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's actually going to be pretty competitive.
Definitely.
Like you said, I think there's going to be powerhouse. Because the thing with this new 5-man is what sucks for other teams is if you didn't pick up a 5th pro, basically. So for whatever teams are out there that they're on their 5th and they have to pick up either the last chance pros or like amateur teams. I think they're going to be behind. I think these dominant rosters that we've already announced so far are going to be the top teams.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them individually is going to continually win. I think it's going to be, we'll see a lot of spread out wins throughout.
Right. And I think like some of these teams, like you're saying, like as soon as it got announced there's 5, a lot of these just super teams started forming. And I was kind of hoping to see a lot of AM players get picked up to fill in those spaces, but I I guess I didn't put enough thought into it, but it seems like I said, a lot of these superstars are all just kind of hitting each other up and making just these, like, just for lack of a better term, dynasty rosters. These rosters full of superstars from different eras, and it really is something special to see with all these huge names
Yeah,
on the same
absolutely.
rosters. Like,
But before we get on too much of a tangent on there, what's anything else about the or
the FaZe
Splyce? We're
roster.
talking about them in a sec. Yeah,
No,
FaZe roster,
I think we
FaZe
covered
up,
FaZe
baby.
pretty
Yeah,
heavily.
I mean everything we wanted to say we got. All
Right.
right, but since I said Splyce, we're going to Splyce.
Yeah.
Got Aqua, Accuracy, Jerd, Looney, Temp. So this is an international squad. One of the two we're going to talk to today. Got Jerd from EU, the only remaining member of the original Splyce roster.
Yeah.
And then, not to be like rude, but everybody's gonna get the leftover players. I feel like the guys who got left off. You got,
It definitely comes off that way, like a
yeah,
ragtag team.
like Accuracy, the only player who's not on 100T that was originally with the TK.
Yeah.
Mooney, I wouldn't say he was left over from Rise because he still had the gunless situation, but you knew that that team was going to break up.
He's a solo player that left
Yeah,
Rise.
and he's been with Rise for. And then I guess you have Temp and Aqua, who both were on Echo Fox.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how I feel about this team. I think
it's one of the harder teams to read because, like we've talked, like you said, they're all kind of, you have Aqua and Temp, but then you have three players from three different teams. One of them from EU.
Yeah,
It just, we don't know yet. It's such a hard team to put even an estimate on,
exactly.
because it's just
Because it's not that they don't have talent; they've all
right.
got talent. But it's just I don't know. Obviously, accuracy is the main AR. We can clearly say that. Looney's in SMG, Jerd's in SMG. Aqua has played AR as well, but I think he would probably be the flex, and then Temp would be the another SMG. I don't really like again. I think this team is almost. I think they're event to event. I think some events we're going to be surprised on how they place, and other ones we're going to be like, well,
Yeah.
I would like say top 16.
I would say coming into this game, this is the team I would expect to have the most room to grow throughout the season. Because I mean, a lot of the other teams like stuck together, moved around, pick up one player. This is the team where it's like everyone's from a different place, so they're kind of starting from scratch compared to some of these other orgs that are kind of adding a player to the mix rather than starting over. So there's definitely a lot of room to grow, and they might be like one of those teams that, like you said, they're going to be learning together, have different placements, I think, throughout the season. I think we're going to see them make decent placements, and I think we're definitely going to see them have not great showings.
I almost see them as last year's FaZe squad, where
or Optic.
yeah, where their placing is just random.
Yeah, it's hard to place.
I'm not saying that they can. I mean, maybe they'll surprise us and be one of the dominating teams. I just, based on what I know, I just don't see that at the moment.
Right.
I can see a lot of conflict. Looney's usually trying to. He's usually like a team captain type role.
Mm-hmm.
Temp's got an ego. I mean, all Call of Duty players do. Accuracy's always. He's had the fans not like him, so I can see there being possibly
some turmoil,
attitude or situations, but again, maybe they'll all get along and they'll work fine. I think you'll see Aqua and Jerd just kind of sit in the back, do what they do,
and let the personalities be the personalities.
Yeah. I don't think they have any role issues though.
No, I think it's
pretty Aqua's played AR, but he can play flex. Accuracy's just let accuracy do what he does, lay out. But yeah, other than that, I don't.
Definitely one of the
I don't
more
think,
harder to place rosters coming together.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I by no means do I think they can't win an event. I mean, I didn't think EG was gonna win champs, and here
Here
they
we
are.
are.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and these guys are all talented again. So,
Yeah.
I think they can win an event. I don't think they'll be consistently like a top 4 team. I think they'll be more around like the 5 through 8 area as far as like skill from what we know so far. Again, there's so many teams that need to be announced, but
And with that being said, where do you think our third team places? Team Reciprocity.
in Reciprocity, you got Tommy Luskin, Dens from the Australia, New Zealand region, and then Shawnee and Zed.
Good.
I think this team's gonna surprise you, dude.
It's good
I
all
really do.
around. It is.
I think this team's gonna really surprise people. Luskin, Shawnee, and Zed just played with Unilad, and they didn't do bad, honestly. They did stage 2 playoffs. I remember them eliminating. I mean, given Optic was everywhere, but they still beat Optic, knocked Optic out of a tournament.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they beat them actually
I would.
twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that away from them. Maybe, if anything, just kind of like criticize Optic and how they were playing. But yeah, I mean, they still did it.
Tommy's great leader. I mean, he helped bring Luskin up through IW with
Yep.
Luskin with scraps. I'm not completely sure with the role situation. I think I want to say Luskin plays an AR role. I think Tommy might be like a flex, but I don't know that one for sure. Do you know or not?
Well,
Really?
I think that Waskin. I'm trying to think of where. Man, I'm kind of drawing a blank right now.
I know I've seen an AR in his hands. I just don't know if he was the main AR or like the secondary.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he was playing on Unilad. I've definitely seen him use an AR before, but like I said, I don't remember if that was with his last season on Unilad or if that was prior to that.
I do remember him using AR this last season. Again, I didn't watch enough matches to know if that was like secondary because it was like on Arden's, which is a 2 AR map.
And with that, like,
Well,
with there being
I guess it depends, but
an additional player, additional like role to fill, essentially, we're gonna see a lot more players playing things that like maybe they haven't played in the last year or two.
right.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna see AR players. It's not like they're incapable of playing as an SMG. A lot of pro players can make the switch if they have to.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I think that minus Dens, I think there's a lot of chemistry with this team. Again, Tommy and Weskin play together. The Weskin and the other Shawnee and Zed team together. Dens is
kind of
the only one that I mean he's
puzzle
this
piece
is another
that doesn't
international
fit,
squad.
but it doesn't mean he won't.
I mean, he's
Fill the spot.
probably well, Mind Freak's been the best ANZ team the past how many years, and he's arguably been the best on that roster. I mean, given he left a little bit in IW, but and came back. But and then I think Shocks was also pretty good. But I think Dens needed to leave that. As much as I like that Mind Freak roster, I did. I think this will give him a better opportunity to be even better than he already was. And I think this team's really going to be a really good search team. I can see them being a top 5 search team. Um, I don't know, man. I think this team's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, and
I don't think. Go ahead, sir.
a lot of teams don't look. There was a couple. There's always been a couple of teams you could look at and say like, they might be shaky on hardpoint, they might be shaky on search, but this season it seems like a lot of teams kind of balanced that out. Getting the fifth player, I think they thought about that a lot more to kind of
Yeah, missing link.
fill the space where they're hurting more rather than just pulling in another person and adding to kind of what they're already doing. It seems like a lot of teams are picking their players wisely and making sure that they're covering all of their game modes rather than just picking a big name or picking, you know what I'm saying, picking someone that they
Yeah.
know is a talented player.
Right. I like it. From what I'm pretty sure this is also the team that's going to be housing in Vegas, so they'll be able to scram a lot of the NA teams, which
Which is
is
huge.
great. I mean, that should even up their competition even more.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think they'll be again in that like 5 to 8 range, but I don't think that they'll. I think they're going to be like a consistent team, if that makes sense. Like they're not going to be fluctuating
Right.
constantly. When like one event they could be top 2 and the next one top 16. I think they'll always be like kind of in the middle. They might be able to pull an event out, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to be bad by any chance. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
All
mean,
right. Well, that's all I got for that team. I don't know.
yeah, I
The,
mean, and then one of the only, I think the last, did we talk about Red Reserve last video?
yeah, we did.
We did cover Red Reserve. Okay. I didn't
Yeah,
remember if
that
we did
was
or
one
not.
of the first 2 teams we covered.
Okay.
That was our lead in.
So yeah, then we have
Team MadCat.
LG and E United haven't picked anybody up yet, by the
Yeah.
way.
Well, yeah, we'll discuss them in a sec. But I want to talk about this Team MadCat
Yep.
team.
Ex
No,
MadCats.
yeah, they have no org. I mean, they were announced today. You got MadCat, Josh, Dave, Alex, and Petey. Um,
Another one of those teams for me.
you think so?
I don't think that they are going to be. I think they're really comparable to Team Reciprocity that we just talked about. I don't think they're going to be a show out team. I mean, are they capable of playing well? Yes, but I don't think that they'll be able to play as outstanding as they would have to against these teams that we're talking about consistently.
I, I almost see them more of like Splyce, where I think they're gonna have good showings and some not so good showings.
Yeah.
And um, I think it really just, for me, it just depends on can MadCat, and because obviously MadCat and Josh played with Splyce, they've teamed together numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
Can they get these other players to, I don't know, like the next level? Dave has been basically with the same couple players last few years um, on Epsilon, making it to Pro League, and then probably being the best on his roster, but not really doing much in Pro League. The team never seems that he plays for never seems to win anything. They
Right.
just get by, you know. But he always performs. He's always a good player. Um, you got Alex, who I think if he would have been playing the whole year, I think he could have been in the position to as like a rookie of the year type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he was with Unilad this year, he was, to me, I think he was honestly between him or Luskin. I think those were the top 2 players on that team. I think, and he kind of came out of nowhere. He was just I heard of Alex, but a lot of people like didn't know who he was. And then PD. See, I don't know too much about PD. I know he's been on good teams in the past.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen his name around, but I
yeah,
wouldn't claim to know anything one way or the other about PD.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he was on maybe Infused, Team Infused. I don't know. A couple years back. That could be wrong. I don't. Or
Don't
Millennium.
quote us.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, but he's obviously a good EU player, or else they
Mhm.
wouldn't have picked him up. I don't know, man. MadCat and Josh, I think it just depends on how well they can lead these guys. I think they're all talented. MadCat was on the only EU team to ever win an event in NA, right? Splyce 2 years ago.
Yeah, I
There was
mean,
no EU team. Huh?
yeah, I think so. I mean, it's definitely not
Like
happened.
no EU team won this year, correct? Because Red Reserve was close and
Right.
Splyce got second at an event or two.
Yeah.
I don't think none of them won this year. And then Josh is a good EU player. This team's gonna be definitely a top EU team for sure. I don't see them as like a top 5 team, but I think they're gonna be pretty good.
Yep. I could see it.
As far as roles go, I don't quote me again. This is something that I hope people in the comments reply with, like the roles
Right.
with Team Reciprocity. I hope people like help us out with that a little bit. But I'm pretty sure Dave's an AR player. I think I don't know PD at all. Like I said, I know him, but I
Yeah,
don't know what
wouldn't
role he played.
claim to know his role. I
Yeah,
don't.
he wasn't in a pro league team this year.
Yeah.
Um, Alex, I think he's an SMG, and then MadCat and Josh, they've been in the pro league so long that they could probably play anything too. I mean, all pros can play anything, but
It's just
they'll know their roles.
definitely I would say the team that I'm most interested to see just what happens.
Yeah,
It's just it's really hard to know.
of the 4 teams we discussed today, definitely that team in Splyce. I'm just like, I don't really know what they're gonna do. The other 2 teams I can see being pretty consistent. I mean, one I obviously thought FaZe is gonna be the best of the 4 that we named, but different game, different meta. You never know.
Never know.
You really do.
We'll start finding
That's
out
why I
here
love the
soon.
speculation, dude. I'm glad that we started doing this.
We got the
And
game coming out
yeah,
in what?
less than 48
Yeah,
hours, dude.
2 days, less than 2 days.
But all right, let's see. We're around 28 minutes. I want to end the video with some speculation. So,
Mhm.
like you said, Luminosity hasn't announced their 5th. United hasn't announced their 5th, but I have heard rumors of who United's picking up. Supposedly it's going to be a BZ from Enigma 6, which
Mhm.
was a good amateur team. They were in the Pro League the year before, but I mean, I don't think he was, but
So
I heard he's an up and coming player, so I don't know if that's who they pick up, but that's just who I've.
what happened to the players from Echo Fox?
So you got Temp and Aqua who went to Splyce.
Right.
Um,
And then
I don't know
Saints and
whatever.
Facento aren't on a team yet.
Yeah, Saints and Fatento aren't on a team.
So we have Saints, Facento.
Still got Gunless, who I think he's with LG, dude.
You think Gunless is gonna go to LG?
He's got to, right? Like, I know how Gunless wants to be on the best team, and to me, assuming those 4, obviously Formal John, JCap, and
Yeah.
um, Slacked, assuming those 4 stay together, I think that's the best remaining team. Unless he reunite with United, dude.
Well, that was kind of my argument that I was coming into that with. Is I
You can see
as
him
much as
going
I
there.
think LG, I think if LG LG as it stands now, whoever they pick up as a fifth, I would still put them as a probably top 6 team. But
Yeah.
if they get gunless, I mean, they have to be a top 3 team coming. I don't see how they would not be.
Oh, if they get gunless, I think they're easily a top 3 team.
Yeah, and
If they
I also think
ahead.
gunless is. I can see why gunless would go back to United, but I don't. I don't think he would have the same effect on United as he would on Luminosity.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
I think United, whether they pick up gunless or they pick up, who else did we name? I mean, we talked about Saints and Vicento.
Saints. I'm pretty sure a couple of the Envy guys are still available. So Classic, who has played with Slack.
Yeah.
He's played with Slack before. Is Chino still available? I think he is.
It could be. Couldn't tell you. I don't think we talked about him last video, so I would assume.
I'm guessing so. I don't know. I think Gunless just fits that Luminosity spot, and I know Formal has been wanting to team with him for a while.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine.
Again, for all we know, they could have broken up. For all we know, I'm pretty sure United is staying the same from all angles. It looks like they're staying the same. So
right. I don't believe
it'd be cool to see him reunite with the Twins, though.
I don't believe
think that would be cool.
Wait, it says hold on. Let me see here. I'm just doing some quick research. So Chino, yeah, it seems like he's inactive still. So it looks like he's also still.
I'm sure there's other pros that are out there that we still haven't even.
Yeah, they're 100% are.
But those are the guys off the top of my head that are just.
But yeah, those are kind of like, I don't want to call them the leftovers like we have, but that's kind of who's left that hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully in the next week, we'll have maybe one last quick 15-minute follow up on where the remaining players end up. I think that'd be the perfect way to round out a quick little 3-episode Rostermania series with just.
Yeah, we're for sure gonna talk about that United and Luminosity roster when they come through. Obviously, if anything else comes through, we'll be talking about that too. Because I've enjoyed this. I think it's really fun speculating.
It is. It's definitely fun to not only give your 2 cents on everything, but kind of hear someone else's point of view. I mean, granted, we usually have a pretty similar point of view, but we have disagreed in these videos.
Yeah, we have disagreed.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I think it adds a level of conversation to it all.
Of course. I mean, I'm always right, but of course.
Whatever, man.
All right. Well, if anybody who listens to us has speculations or wants to add to the conversation, we'd love to hear your perception, your thoughts.
And help us out, because we clearly don't know everything.
We're we try. I mean, we know a little bit, but
we do the best of what we got, you know.
Yeah. We've only been watching a competitive for a few years, so. Anyways, if you could like, comment, subscribe,
and don't forget to ring that bell.
Yeah. Shut up. Go follow Big Shot on twitch.tv/ourbigshot. I will be back streaming, hopefully, assuming this internet upgrade that I'm getting in 2 days is good. Twitch.tv/JakeFizzyV. Obviously, the stuff's in there. That's it, dude.
That's it.
And any last words?
I think I'm just excited to see the next couple rosters over this next probably week or two, and come back with another video, you know.
Yeah. Until next time.
Until next time.
Adios.